relationship management. So it's the ongoing as you continually meet people, you just meet so many people and then you end up losing some people. That doesn't happen with this. You put them into the database, you get them added to a system. Aaron's going to show you to do drip email campaigns. You can upload thousands of people, contact thousands of people all at once. It's a very powerful tool. So with this, we are working now with Lionsdesk. It's a new CRM. I absolutely love it for a few reasons. One, it's very inexpensive compared to all the others. Two, it's very powerful. Three, it's simple. It's very easy to use. It's very updated. And then fourth, it's just, I love the support that it has. They have a huge amount of support online, whether it's online videos, weekly webinars. I know, Donnie, you mentioned you did one of those. Mm-hmm. There's a whole Facebook group. It's kind of some of the ones that Tyler talked about earlier, those Facebook groups. Very similar one for Lionsdesk if you need any sort of help. So really, any sort of help you need is online. But this is going to be a great class to get started. Aaron's going to show you to go through a few things. With this, so what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody a free month trial. To do that, you have to go into the Summa toolbox, and then you're going to want to sign up for the Lionsdesk Basic, and that's going to have a 30-day free trial. And I'm going to take note of everybody in here, and if you guys have any questions, I'll follow up again probably in 21 days about them. Check to see how things are going, and we can go from there. So if you do that, just let me know, and I'll get you a username and password sent over. Otherwise, not a bad idea. If you just want to really focus on Aaron and kind of how he's doing these things, that's going to be a great way to start. And then from there, moving forward, I'm going to be the main person for support. But like I said, there's a whole wealth of resources online. Lisa?
Yeah, so 30 days, free trial.
That's correct, yep.
And then how much?
Yep, so there's a $15 and a $20. The $15 is a basic, and that just limits the number of contacts that you can have in there. And also, actually not the number of contacts, pardon me, the number of emails you can send per month. It's limited at 1,000 for the basic. If you pay $5 more for the pro, which is $20 per month, that gives you up to 15,000 emails. Neat part too, for people if you're kind of teamed up, it's very easy to link teams, so you can kind of create a team platform on it. So if you can connect two people on it. So if you guys are co-listing or share common databases, Rob and Angela, and Ellie's, you guys, if that's something you'd be interested in doing, it's very easy to do and it's very simple. So,
thank you.
Do some how's it going? Good. So do some introductions. We have some wonderful representatives from WFG and as well as Wes, which is part of the WFG company.
Yeah, that would lead off to me. My name is Jackson Wilkie, so I am out at our Sunset branch in the Hillsborough area. These two actually, I'm in their office quite a bit, and they were talking about a new CRM system they were going to introduce to you guys. And the benefit that we have here with WFG, you know, beyond the title and escrow and customer service is a marketing team. This is Aaron Stell. He's part of a nationwide marketing team that works with, you know, top producers across the nation. He just got back last weekend from the Inman Convention in New York. So these guys are in with all sorts of CRM platforms and online presence, social media, you know, and we're able to get him in front of you personally for this kind of stuff. So when they brought this up to me, I had Aaron come right in and teach Tyler and Brody, you know, the intricate parts of Lionsdesk, and we wanted to be able to teach everybody at once. So as you know, Lionsdesk has a lot of support. We do as well. So if you are struggling and you need that extra help, you know, Aaron Still's a great addition to that. We can get him right in front of you to help with that. I want to link that, yeah, and it's important. These CRM systems, Brody was going over it. It should be the most important part of your day, ultimately. I mean, when it comes to referrals, it's the lifeblood of your business. So you have to stay in front of these people. You have to be a source for them at all times and be top of mind. And you're not going to remember to do that daily if you're not told. So making sure that you are not only contacting these people, but daily putting in notes. If you talk to one and they had a doctor's appointment and couldn't talk, if you bring that up next time, their mood will just instantly, you know, lighten up, and it can be an easier, smooth transaction. So I had one little, while he's getting this going, I wanted to go over one little thing I read about CRMs, and something caught my eye, and it's called the Daily 5 routine. You didn't already go over any of this, did you?
The Daily 5?
Have you heard of that?
I have heard of it. We didn't go over that, but we went over the 12 touch, the 33 touch, and then the 8x8.
It just kind of proves how powerful it is. So the Daily 5 is every day 5 calls for 5 minutes. It equates to 25 calls a week, and that's it. And if you had a sphere of just 300 people that would be contacting them 4 times per year. And if you got 5% of their business, or the business from those 1,250 calls annually, that's 63 transactions a year. So if you put that into perspective, it's a real powerful tool.
grabbing it for
And it's
some
something that we should be,
Try
using
take it down,
every single
plug it
day
back in,
to
sometimes that will work.
capture these referrals. So
I've tried even 2 different books.
I think it's this, maybe it might be source.
Go ahead, sorry man.
you're all good. I promise you he's really good. So don't let this
Not an
affect your-
AV.
Make the CMA.
It's, yeah, I'm going after the CMA class, but the CMA class is.
Is there a possibility of
Pretty important.
rescheduling the Summa class that day or not?
Yeah. Is it?
It's kind of tough. It was very hard to find to get Dustin in here in the first place, but I can look into
WFGrefresh.com,
it for sure. Yeah.
Just work.
and then it's /.
No, I'm not, if I could reschedule CMA, it'd be awesome.
It's on the bottom here too.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to pay my, I want to get a friend done with, because I'm
All right,
already
so
rescheduled once
just
before.
to give me kind of a quick background, has anybody actually logged in or played with Lionsdesk at all?
I've got my contacts uploaded, but that's about it. And
Okay.
It didn't
Yeah, I
upload
have.
all the way.
You've done
so-
that as well.
I've done
okay.
it, I've entered some stuff in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So I'm going to walk you guys through. I'm not going to get into bringing in your contacts. I'll talk a little bit about the different tags you guys can use. I'll talk a little bit about the different ways that you guys can search. I'll get into that, but then I'm really going to dive into more about how you utilize this as a tool. So it's going to be walking sort of step by step on how I would use it, and then you guys can kind of figure out what you want to do from that point in time. So the first thing you'll want to do once you actually get set up is come up to this very top part on the top right, under your name, and you're going to want to fill out both your profile and then get into the settings. I would recommend, bringing in a photo, throwing in your website, but then also doing things like email signatures and then making sure that you do create your abouts, because a lot of this stuff is going to get pulled in when we talk about marketing. So this is where you build out all of those pieces that will then be used later on. The other thing that's important in here is if you are going to use either the dialer, because this does have a built-in dialer, or the text broadcast features, you have to come in here, you have to validate your phone number, and then you'll actually get a Lionsdesk phone number. And they have, and I don't know what they have for Oregon, they do have a service though for $24 a year where you can get a number that's local. So I don't know if it'll be, I'm assuming it'll probably be a 971 number, but you can get a localized number. So that way when you're pushing out these text broadcasts or when you are calling people from it, that it doesn't look like, well, I don't even know where 954 is. A 954 area code where it looks like spam.
Zimbabwe.
Or you can do Google Voice too, couldn't you?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Voice.
Yeah, you can do that through Google Voice. This is just the reason that I look at doing it through here is, the more systems you have involved, the more complicated it gets, and the harder it traditionally is to stick to it. If you can basically have one dashboard and live in one place, then it's going to be something that becomes usable, becomes part of your routine, and then you just do that over and over again. And the question we get a lot is, what's the best CRM out there? And the short answer is the one you use. And so if you can figure out how to use one, I don't care what it is, and you use it repeatedly, you're going to be far more effective than not having one at all, or having one that does like a million things and you can't figure out what to do with it. So once you've gone through and validated your phone number, got your phone number, figured out all of, or put all of this stuff in here, once again, you can even pull lists and things, so make sure you have your direct mail address and stuff in there. Then we want to dive into the settings here, so I'll just jump into settings real quick. And there are multiple things in here that you probably don't need to touch or that won't really affect you all that much, but I'm just going to kind of walk you through what they are. Obviously, how many of you guys are going to be buying leads or going to be kind of a lead generation model? Anybody? Okay, never mind. We won't dive into that all that much. So you can, just so you guys know, and I'll get into this in a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm new, so I actually don't know what I'm doing yet. So
Okay.
I can answer that question because
Okay, so I'll walk you
100%.
through. So
Yeah.
the reason that I asked that question, and the thing that you do have available to you, the reason they have all of these actual tags up here is if you do start buying leads, so you use Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, any of those types of things, you can make it to where when somebody signs up on one of those sites, it automatically ports that person into Lionsdesk and creates a contact record for you. So it's a pretty slick tool to where now, once again, you're not living in multiple systems. It allows you to create, you can just basically have automatic things where it'll set them up on drip campaigns, so that way it's all dialed in. And you can get into, like, if there's other sources and whatnot, you can bring those people, you can add those here as well. Within custom fields and things, you don't really need to do all that much with this. Basically what we're looking at right now is it's a bunch of tags. So it's not really something we're doing that's actionable at this point in time. It's just telling you these are automatic things that you can then just attach to a content or a contact as you're going through and connecting with them. So you have different kind of categories. Tags will set up too. Tags can be, this is where you want to kind of figure out how you want to organize your business. So this can be things like buyers and sellers, it can be price points, it can be friends and family, it can be open house leads, so you can tag people different ways. And the reason we're going to have these, think of them as like categories, is you can then search later. So if you're trying to go through and contact an entire list or send a certain type of drip campaign to an entire list, these tags are one of the ways that we can go through and select those people out of the giant group. So you guys already kind of went into task buckets, things like that, so I won't go into there. Hotness level, obviously, hot, warm, cold is what they start with. I think that's somewhat self-explanatory. Deal stages, there are some transaction management components to the CRM too, so that's something you can use to manage the entire pipeline. And then you've got the activities. So one thing to note, I always like to, from a structure standpoint, anytime I'm talking about a type of software, I want to go into a little bit about just how you use it. So one thing to note is you've got the entire left-hand navigation over here, but then know that most times when you click into something, there's a top navigation too. So you do have to, like, when you're trying to find something, and it's buried, you're like, I know it's in here somewhere, I can't figure out where it is. It's usually because you're not looking at the other navigation. So like if I get into lead import or lead routing, this is what I was talking about where you're, say you have Zillow. I would come in here and I'm say, okay, what's the source? And I'd go down here to Zillow. I'm not going to scroll all the way down there because it's a Z. But you can pull out the lead source. You can add that in there so it brings it in. Other things you can do is like this long email address right here that's going to be, you're each going to have your very own. This is where if you have something like, and I'll use Zillow as another example, they'll have something where it's like, do you want to be emailed every time somebody signs up for this, right? And so they'll usually ask you what email do you want it to be sent to. So what you do is instead of putting in your personal email address, you put in this big long one, so when somebody fills out that form or signs up on that website, it directs them to Lionsdesk, creates a new contact, tags them from wherever it was coming from, and then it will be in your CRM. So once again, you're not logging into that system, you're not having to go to your email, you go into your CRM because that's your dashboard for everything, and then you've got them there. Good.
Yeah, and so the whole paid leads ads is a whole monster that I can talk to you guys all about. That's a whole different spectrum of things.
Yep.
But I will be posting a video on how to create a Facebook ads and how to generate leads from Facebook ads. So what you can do is actually funnel leads from those Facebook ads into Lionsdesk, and then I'll be showing you in that video is how you can set on the property website once they put their information in. So they're basically requesting more information on property in your city property website, and you can actually do it automatically through Lionsdesk, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's cool. And I'm not going to go deep into how you can do it, but if you guys decide to create a team down the road, you can even do lead routing or team distribution. So the lead comes in, and say you have 3 people working under you, you can just go, this person gets one, this person gets one, then this person gets one. So you can actually take all those leads coming in and funnel them out to your team on a regular basis without you guys having to touch it. So cool stuff you can do. Once again, you guys probably don't need to do it at this point in time. I'm assuming if you're newer, but if you decide to build out a team, this is scalable. So that's why I bring that up, is you don't have to go get something new. Third-party integration. This is where you can tie basically other sites into Lionsdesk. So one of the things that's cool about this system in general is they are intentionally trying to allow you to bolt other programs onto it. One of the things that we really run into a lot with real estate technology is people build their technology out in what we call silos. So it's like this does this specific task, but it doesn't talk to anybody else. So now you have multiple logins, and it gets really complex. You can't really work your day out of one space. They're doing a good job of trying to make sure that you get all of your different other things coming into here, so this becomes the dashboard, but it plays nice in the sandbox with other tools. So that's where like BombBomb is video email. If you want to do that, we'll get into video in a little bit. IDX Broker is just one IDX. Which one are
Can I
you?
hop in there real quick?
Yeah.
So that IDX broker, you can say it says coming soon. That is the IDX solution we're using right now. We're getting to kind of promote that to everybody. And it's going to be really a great way, kind of based on what it's saying, to have those two systems connect. So IDX is just internet data exchange. And basically you get a home search website and you can provide that to people. But those two systems connect with the CRM so you can bring in leads directly. We're going to be announcing more and working very closely with the creators of Lionsdesk as well as IDX Broker to make that happen for all of us.
Yeah, that'll be really nice for you guys. Broker admin, you guys won't really need to do a lot with this. So I'm going to jump back into the dashboard. So this is basically the page that you start on when you log into Lionsdesk. And the purpose of this is you want to know, okay, how many contacts do I have? What are my activities? You can see like revenue coming in. This is just your all-in-one snapshot of everything you're doing in your business is really the goal of this. But when we really get to the power is when we start going down this left column here. So I'm going to jump into contacts. So once you've imported all of your contacts, there are a ton of ways to filter. So if you click on this little filter button right here, the power of just being able to sort all your contacts in here is really going to be big. So you can do simple ones like, okay, are they, cold, warm, hot type stuff? Tags, this is what I mentioned, where you can do buyer versus seller or certain neighborhoods or price points, and you can have multiple. So you can go through here and bring up tags. So that's stuff that basically you make up based on your business. And then you can just do a search. Like you could just do something like, say you wanted to talk to everyone in Lake Oswego because something new just popped up in Lake Oswego. You could search Lake Oswego, and now only the people that have Lake Oswego in their contact record would then come up. So if you wanted to specifically talk about, say, a property or something happening in your Lake Oswego office or whatever that may be. But this is the type of stuff that I really like too. And this is me being a marketer or somebody that doesn't want stuff to fall through the cracks. So you can even come in here and you can do date ranges. Like I want to talk to I want to go through and send an email to everyone I have not sent something to in the last 45 days. So you can do, this is where email or text sends before and after. So you can pick dates in here. So it's a way to mine people that haven't really been in touch, or you can do people that have been like a certain number. I know you talked about calls and things like that. We haven't texted them more than 3 times or something like that. So it's like they're due to get another one. And so that's the type of stuff that you can do in here. You can base it on contact dates, or even when it was created, be like, I want to go back and have another conversation with everybody I've met this month. So you're like, okay, I create a date, and you're like, everybody starting January 1, 2018. So you can go through and organize them that way as well. Then contact source, this is more about if you're doing lead routing or where they came from, but you can build out, once again, it can be open houses, or if it was floor time, or if it was, sphere and referrals, you can go through and mine them out that way. And I don't need to go through all of these, but the types of contacts, the buckets, etc. So you go through and you pick these people out. And then once you've then sorted these people, so we're saying, okay, these are everybody that are buyers. Now you can just come in here and you have bulk actions. So this is where you're like, okay, I want to send an email to everyone that's a buyer right now because you just came across a really cool new listing that you think might apply to all of these people, or it's a buyer in Portland. So you can do emails. This is where you can text. So I could literally text all 789 people right now and it will go to their phone. And if you look at like text data and stuff like that, 90% of texts are read within 3 minutes. So that's one of the nice things, and they're pretty much every one of them's opened. So you got to be careful with that. It does come from your Lionsdesk number as well, so that's also something important to note. But it's good to know. So
sorry about that. So it would come up as a random number essentially on their phone.
Correct.
So it could be like almost like look like spam.
So but the way you get around that is you create your contact record and you put yourself in as like mobile, and then you put your Lionsdesk number as say your work, and then you send them your contact record, so then it comes through as you at work.
Perfect. Okay.
So then if you make sure that you're sending them your contact, and that's like your first step, don't just send them an email. I would actually send like your VCF or whatever, and then does everybody know what that is? Like your card, your Outlook card or whatever, or you go onto your phone and you say share contact and it's you, so that way they have all of your information.
Perfect.
So share the file, and if you set it up that way, then they'll just see it come through with your name and it'll be like your work number. And the nice thing about this is something that I don't think they really talk about a lot with when you're in Lionsdesk. But one of the things you could do is you could actually go through and put all of the other agents in there, because then text messages back and forth are tracked and you can log them, as well as your calls. So now if you need that from a CYA level for your broker, you can actually go through and grab all of those text communications because it's in a log. So
CYA?
cover your ass.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's,
Are there any laws about texting like there are about emails? I mean, do you need to put like, please reply, stop to stop the text or something, or?
They're not, it's kind of the wild, wild west a little bit right now. So the thing I would say is I would be careful with these. This would be something that I would use when I'm in contact with somebody, or if it's how do I say this in a delicate way? If it's not of value, then don't send it out. I'll say it that way, because you're going to turn people off a lot faster than text messaging than you will any other medium, because people still look at that as private.
Yeah.
But if you have something that is truly worthwhile, that you're like, I would want to receive this, I always look at the, use the mirror theory. Like if I look in the mirror and think this is something I would want, then I would send it out. So then I would put something out there. If you're just spamming people with your listings, you're going to get blocked or just rude comments back really quickly. So I'd be using this sparingly. One thing to note that I don't know this will be on you guys, there traditionally is both a text and email limit for the dollar amounts like that you spend. So if you're sending out a ton of these, I want to say you get like 1,000 a month or something like that. But if you say I just went through and sent all 786 people, like I'd put it all out once, and I might only have a couple hundred for the rest of the month combined. So this is where filtering it down, having one-on-one text messages and stuff will be more effective, or else you end up having to pay to get more text messages or emails that go out. So just something to note. But you can, once again, this is where you can go through and you can filter people through, add them to drip campaigns right here outside of your text and emails. We don't want to merge all of them, but you can use this to merge people if you know you've got duplicates in there. Power dialer is something that can be really powerful. So basically what the power dialer does is it will pull up a separate window, and depending on the number of contacts you have, and I wouldn't do 789, it will just create, basically what it does is it calls your phone is what it does. And then it uses your phone to dial people, but it just has them all in a list, and it'll start calling the first one, and it'll pull up all of their contact information while it's calling them. Then you can go through after it's over, make your notes or whatever, and then just say next call. It'll go to the next person, and the next person, and the next person. So if you have like 30 people that you want to talk to, it'll just go down the list and make sure that you call all 30 while having in another window next to it all of their contact info, the last time you talked to them, the reason you're calling them, all of that type of stuff. So it's a way to be effective and efficient with what you're doing and just power through a bunch of calls. Now I will say that also is a add-on. So I believe it's $59 a month, something like that. If you're going to be doing a lot of like lead generation type calls, absolutely worth it, because it automatically, first of all, it creates lists where you can search and then call them all, versus having to figure out who am I supposed to call today. But then the other thing is it automatically has their information and allows you to log that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click in on somebody here. I don't know who Matthew is. Hopefully I'm not diving too deep into your personal stuff.
No worries.
But one of the
lead out of this.
everybody write that down.
Exactly.
Hot lead.
Yeah.
That's my cousin.
He actually sells me knives.
Perfect.
I'm serious.
Here.
Hey, but when a client asks who your nice guy is,
He
you got
does
it.
the client gift, so
Let me go back.
reach out to him if you want client gifts.
Oh, nice. Good idea.
I'm gonna try. Do you have any that have? Let me see if I can find one with phone numbers.
Oh, it kind of does sound weird.
That's actually a good point that they bring up his.
He's looking for one with the phone number.
Yeah, so some of I do, some of I don't. I will say I don't use it Lionsdesk yet
Okay.
as much as I
Yeah.
should in the right way. So, that's
So,
kinda why
so
we
I'm
brought
just
her
going to
in.
go into this one. It doesn't really matter. The reason I bring phone numbers up is, so if I go through and create a contact, one of the really cool things that Lionsdesk will do, and you can see it down here where it says social, like for example on the demo account they gave me, I went in and just plugged in my cell phone number, my work cell phone, and my work email address, which I really don't attach to any social sites anyway. And it immediately went through and created an entire list of basically all of my social profiles, automatically by me doing nothing more than plugging that in. So if you're getting, where this really comes into play, if you're getting people that are either cold or somewhat cold, or they're like, you know, second or third level acquaintances, you plug in their name and email address, it finds all their social sites. Now all of a sudden you know you can do a lot of stalking on here, and you'll know all the goodness about them before you even sit down. So you know where they've worked, their education, depending on which sites come up, you can go in and see the types of things that they're into. So it can create a lot warmer conversation via, and it doesn't have to be face-to-face, but it can be face-to-face, phone call, text messaging, whatever that may be, by doing nothing more than just plugging in their contact info. So it's something that is really cool. So I would encourage you guys, if possible, to get as much information as you can on these. And just from a random kind of note, most people's cell phone number are now connected to social sites. You know, you talked about Facebook Messenger and stuff like that. It used to be almost nobody put their cell into Facebook.
Yeah.
Now that there is Messenger, that automatically pulls traditionally when you insert the app, or they make you do it. So now you can pretty much find anybody's social profiles via mobile too. So if you can just get their cell and personal email, you're going to get a lot of their social sites. Once again, that may not be as important once you kind of become friends with them and create a relationship. But when you're first building out this sphere and you're getting connected to people that are one layer removed from your actual circle, this is a really cool way to dive into, you know, who they are, what makes them tick, how you're going to relate, what's going to be the bond, etc. And it's all pulled automatically. So I will go back, and so under each, remember how I told you there's from like a built-out standpoint that there's going to be multiple layers of navigation. So under each contact, you're also going to have multiple layers. So if I go in with this person, I can see, all right, what is the marketing I've been doing with this person? So you can see emails that have gone out, texts that have gone out, phone calls, etc. If there's documents, like you've actually, you know, say you're under contract and you're like, I actually want to have the purchase and sale agreement, or they filled out, you know, if you guys create, say, some sort of a form each time you sit down with somebody to find their likes and what they want and what they're looking for, you can bring that type stuff in. If there's certain properties that they're looking at, you can bring the properties in. Leads, that's a different thing, but like timeline, like what are they, this will kind of go through all of your different contacts and like when you met them and what you've been doing with them. It kind of gives you a full history. We don't need to, I mean, Gmail is just it's a plugin, so we don't need to do that right now. But you can have it syncing with Gmail if you're using Gmail. So the big thing that you're probably going to look at with this, though, is you're going to look at the marketing. So when you sit down with somebody and say you'd created a task to call them or text them or something, once you get to a certain size, there will probably be times where you're like, you know, who's John and why am I calling this guy? Go back, see where they came from, see what you've already sent, and be like, oh yeah, that's who that guy was. You know, you met him at a bar or a party or a coffee shop or whatever where they were introduced by a certain person. But click into the person, go through these different tabs up above, then you can figure out kind of what the backstory is on all these people. So I'm going to jump back into contacts here. And stop me if you guys have any questions or anything like that.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
On the contact, can you put one by one in there, or you have to upload from your?
No, you can do one.
Excel
So,
spreadsheet?
so right now I'm in the contacts tab.
Okay.
So there's this blue button right here that says add contact. So actually, let me just
You
do
answer
this.
all those things.
I'll just show you. If I start getting spammed, I'm going to unsubscribe and block.
Getting a free lead here.
Yeah.
After this, probably already gets my emails. and just
I'm
like,
on.
oh god, I'm again.
Hot buyer.
Not anymore.
So let's just see here. All right. Let's see if it pulled it already. Yep. All right, so look at that social stuff. So all I did is plug in my email address and my phone number. And once again, this isn't even my personal mobile phone or my personal email that I use to sign up for most social sites. So this is based off LinkedIn, but it went through and it found my website. It pulled my company website. Here's my About Me profile. Here's Facebook. I mean, all of this stuff, all of this social information. Marketing's what I do, so I'm on everything. But all of that just by merely plugging in name, email, phone number. And that's what I look like. So if you don't know what I look like, it even
So
pulls
it
that.
needs to bother Googling LinkedIn how to extract.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
how
no,
do you
that's
get that? 'Cause
extracting
I'm
the
looking
contact
at one
list.
right now for my
Right.
That's
the
right.
social media stuff on here, and I don't see.
You can do that though. Still.
It
the list
should
that you
pull
upload,
automatically
you just have to
based
probably
on
go- I have to go
email
one
or
by
phone number.
one. Maybe
Or-
last.
You have the Excel
extract the
spreadsheet
contact
you
list
download
from
it,
LinkedIn,
and then you go
then
one
put
by
it in
one,
there.
and it's Hotmail, Hotfire,
Yeah.
or Hot Server,
Yep.
all that
I
stuff.
Yes.
see a gravatar
Yeah.
thing in there, but I don't know what that.
Aaron,
Yeah.
one
Can you show
question.
us
So
what
I showed everybody how to export their contacts from LinkedIn and
Yep.
to upload it into the system.
Yep.
Well, is there a way to automatically link it to all their social profiles with a list, like a mass list that you explode, or would that be only if you did it one by one?
It should, and don't quote me on this, but if you're pulling them from LinkedIn and you have their email address, it should pull from that email address. So it should go through and find these without doing it individually. But
So you need both the phone and the email to get all the information?
it's usually one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, so like even within like Facebook, and this is a whole different kind of tangent we could go down. Like say you're trying to create a custom audience in like Facebook ads or things like that, it's almost always with social, it's one or the other. As long as you have one of them, it'll find it. And usually it's like, it'll use the phone number to find these sites, and it'll use the email to find these sites, so that's where it'll kind of compile them together.
Okay.
But the important thing on this is I would try to get as much information as possible from all of your clients, and even asking them things like, hey, can I get a work and a personal email, or a work and a personal phone if they have those things. I would try to get as much data as possible, because it will allow you to have a lot more of this information. So just something to note, but like you saw there, I mean, I literally just typed my stuff in, clicked on myself, boom, there's all my profiles. So you guys can do the same thing, with those people that you're running into. And I do, this is once again not a Lionsdesk thing, but just sharing your contacts out of your phone book, have them do the same thing to you as you be like, hey, I'm gonna text you my contact record from my phone, just reply back with yours, is such a simple way to get all of their info versus misspelling an email, because that happens all the time, or being one digit off on a phone number, or forgetting their name, like you met them and 7 seconds later you've already forgotten their name. It's like, oh, what's your number? Here's my contact record. Why don't you just send me yours? So then you're like, Bob, that's it. I mean, I'm sure you guys have never done that, but it's like if you share contacts, then you spell their name right, first and last name, which is kind of important. So from a practice standpoint, that will really help you guys, stay on your game with all this stuff.
Can you show us how to upload?
I was about to say, this
Excel
uploads it
spreadsheet?
directly into your spreadsheet or contact list.
Yes, yeah. So once you if you're in contacts and you you add a contact here, that will upload it immediately into your list. So then that's when you're talking about importing contacts would be here. Exporting, you can even export based on the list. So if I have certain people I want to do, you just click on bulk actions, export. Where this stuff comes into play too, I don't want to get too much into the weeds of everything this can do for you guys, because it starts to become a little bit overwhelming. I think to start out, you always want to do the simple things. Adding contacts, putting them on drip campaigns, figuring out how to consistently touch them, things along those lines is more important. But it can do things like you create lists, export those people out to then send out mailers, because it can actually create mailing labels. So if you're trying to do an entire campaign where you're like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I want these 50 people. These are my 50 Beaverton contacts. I'm going to send them a postcard that's specific to Beaverton. I'm going to upload those people into Facebook, and I'm going to be running ads to them. I'm going to send emails to all these people at the same time. So you can create entire marketing campaigns versus just a marketing touch, which are a little bit different. That's the type of stuff this is set up to do. But once again, I would start with simple things. Once you get the basics figured out, go to the next step, then go to the next step, and kind of work your way down. These guys did mention, which this is actually really important. One cool thing about Lionsdesk is they have a great support system. So getting in that Facebook group, if you guys sign up for this, would be one of the first things I can do. Because if you get stuck on anything, you can ask a question in there, and either an agent or somebody from Lionsdesk will reply back to you. The other thing is they actually have a huge library of YouTube videos. So if you go into YouTube and type Lionsdesk, they have walkthroughs of pretty much everything. So they have overviews that are like 45 minutes to an hour long for everything, but then they have specific tasks too, like how to use the power dialer in Lionsdesk. It'll be like a 2-minute video. So it's just like this and you're done instead of having to go through a 45-minute walkthrough in order to figure out how to use it. So use that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we also too on the Summa University tab on Basecamp, so on the icon, if you go into broker resources, I've added all of those videos on there, so there's tons of them. There's overview, there's very specific ones.
Is that just Lionsdesk?
But like you said, you know,
Yeah,
Google
it's,
it, YouTube,
let's
there's
see here.
tons available.
What is that Summa-based tab?
The Summa Basecamp, Summa University icon.
I'm trying to remember the
And then it's
group
in the
name. If
broker
you,
resources area.
they actually they have it listed somewhere on the site traditionally. I'm trying to remember where it's at, but I can find it for you and get it. But even if you just Google Facebook Lionsdesk group, it'll pop up.
It's under your profile if you go to the top.
Is that what it is? Okay, I was like,
yeah,
I know
you
it's.
click profile and it'll be on the left side.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Our private Facebook group for users only. Yeah, so it's literally, you'll get answers almost immediately, which is cool. All right, so you guys are using Sky. What are you guys using for your transaction management? SkySlope.
Yeah, we're using SkySlope. Probably for the main part, people won't be using the transactional.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. So I'll move past. If you guys really want to dive in at another point, we can talk about using it for transaction management. But since you guys have SkySlope, it would be redundant, so I wouldn't really worry about that. So let's jump into marketing. So this is where you can really create all of your different types of touches. And so once again, you've got, if you look at the things you can do here, you've got multiple layers. But the first thing you can look at is these are simple, like they've got a new lead follow-up system right here, which this is like if you want to add anybody to it, you can add people. But the nice thing is you can just go in here and edit and just change out anything that's pre-populated and pre-built already with, say, this drip campaign specifically. You can also, and I'm going to show you guys some more things here in a little bit. But one of the cool things about Lionsdesk is not only do they have like this one that they've already got built, but you've actually got an entire database of templates that other agents have created that I'll get into like searching and stuff here in a little bit. Where you can go through and literally pull other pre-built marketing campaigns and just download them and put them into your Lionsdesk, edit them as far as verbiage and stuff to make sure that they fit your style, but then they're done. So you're not having to recreate everything, and we'll get to that tab in a little bit. But with this, so I'll just look at this part here. We'll go through this part to begin with. So these are all the templates you currently have. So if you want to add people to them or edit them, you can. Folders, you probably don't need to worry. If you do want to create an email template that you want to send out over and over and over again, you guys can pre-populate or pre-build out emails that you want sent out to your clients. We'll get into the video and stuff like that in a little bit. But within this, you can have attachments, you can have merge fields so it seems personalized. There's a bunch of stuff you can do in here, but really it's just you go through and type up the email. Where the value in this can also come in is if you have those emails that you have to send out over and over and over again, instead of having to like recreate them inside of Outlook or inside of Gmail or something like that, copy and paste it, build it as a template in Lionsdesk, and then anytime somebody asks that question, you just send that email out, it records it for you, and then you can know what's going on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you want more of the design aspect of your emails, let's say you want like a really like pretty header and all that kind of stuff, I would recommend extracting your contacts out of that and putting into a system like a MailChimp or like a campaign monitor that have these pre-built designs and stuff. This is more for dripping content on them, which is really important. But let's say you want to do like a newsletter a couple times a year, I would use something like MailChimp or campaign monitor for that aspect. And otherwise you'll have to get a coder to code the templates for you.
Correct. You can build out some stuff, and it's kind of simplistic. You know, one of the things that we're seeing, that's more powerful with a lot of this stuff is outside of large-scale branding pushes like what you're talking about, is what these are meant to do is look like you took the time to send them something personal, right? So even though you didn't, you want it to sound like you took the time to write them an individual email one-to-one. So that's really the purpose of a lot of these templates. It's not like general marketing information. It's like, hey, you know, in case you don't remember, I'm Aaron, I met you the other day and just wanted to reach out. And so you can make them sound like, or hey, I haven't talked to you in a little while, just wanted to see how you were doing, right? And so they think I sent you that, but really it's like I sent that to everyone in my database because I haven't talked to them for a month, right? And so like
exactly right. That's exactly what this is for.
it's perfect for that.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with text templates if you want to push out text. You can create call scripts in here. So there's multiple ways that you can push out the information. If I jump in here,
Can I
so
ask a question about the texting?
no.
If they reply, where does it go?
It comes back into the contact record under like their text. So you'll have it like in the communication in there, but yeah, it comes back through the Lionsdesk
Do
number.
you get notified or notification if that comes in?
I'll have to go back and double check, but you should there's notifications you can turn on. So I'll have to go back in and I don't remember off the top of my head how you're notified, to be honest. But there are some notifications, but I don't remember exactly like how quickly it comes back and things like that. So I can find that out, or we can find out. So this is what I was telling you about. So these autopilot drip campaigns, all of these here, and notice there's like 60 pages worth, are full campaigns created by other agents. So say I wanted one for open houses. These are all open house templates. So if I wanted, say, this one right here, let's see here, let's just click on one. Is it?
So these are just tagged.
But it should, last time I did, I just clicked on it and opened.
That's in the pro.
Maybe.
So, do you see? Is there a download area on the far right side?
No, well, it might be a size thing. Let me go. Oh, that's right. It's the little view. Okay. All right. Let me get back over.
I did the same thing earlier.
Did you? Okay. So I think I know what it is. I think I need to zoom out. There it is. Okay. I'm like, I know I just clicked and I can see it. So I just had to make it smaller. So if that happens to you, now you know. You don't have to fumble around like I did. So you click on this little eyeball. This shows you what all of the emails are. And once again, since it's just text-based, once you download it, you can fully edit it to make it your verbiage. So it's editing, not creating, which is a lot easier. But if I decide I want this one, I'm like, oh, this John Blackman, 8x8 thing, I just click this little download button. You just downloaded it, you're welcome. Now it's in your templates. So if I go back to my little templates tab, here's my 8x8. I can go in here and I can edit. Well, I don't want to edit the folder name. I want to. Again, I edit. Let's see if I can review it first.
And again, there's no HTML formatting with this. It's all
text-based, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much. You can add in images and stuff. There are some ways to do it, but it's ideally set up to be text-based. There is other stuff you can do, but it's not a MailChimp.
Can you add images to
Yes.
for design? So what I would recommend in that case then is using something called Canva. Canva,
correct.
and it's basically they have preloaded designs, and it's a way for you to customize them. It's for people like me that don't know how to use InDesign or Illustrator and those sort of things to create graphics. So
Yeah.
I recommend maybe creating some graphics in there and then maybe importing it into Lionsdesk.
And once again, I want to say, like, a lot of their stuff is built off of, like, coding, where, like, if you notice right here, it's, like, first name, but it would be, like, image or something. Like, you have to have it, like, hosted somewhere so it'll pull it through. And so there's some pieces to it that you would have to kind of make sure are set up.
What's the advantage of setting up the profile and the picture and all that right at the beginning? Does that show up in your signature?
Correct.
then?
So that's where, like, so like right here where it says email signature, that's pulling through from there. So stuff that's hosted in your profile, you can use these little short codes here to then pull those merge fields into these emails and stuff. Good.
Is there a way to embed your email signature
Yes.
that you send out from?
Yeah.
So
So
everything looks consistent from whether you send it out from your Gmail account or you send out from Lionsdesk or.
yeah. So you build out your email signature in your profile. So up here. Email signature, so you come in here and edit it. and then this is so you can and there are like with this there is like source code so you can copy and paste HTML. So if that's what you're doing inside of Gmail and things too, then you can just bring it in. It should look exactly the same.
Yeah. If you have a Summa email, you might have gotten, if you use Brandco, when you're using Brandco, you might have a code for that you could just copy and paste into here, and then that would take your email signature and embed it into here.
And for Teams, can you set up more than one signature?
Each person has to have their own account. The way that they have it set up is everybody has their own account. Somebody's the team lead, and basically so they can set it up to where you basically invite people to be part of your team, and then you decide what stuff you want to be shared, like as far as like database and things like that. But since it is your own account, I know that's a really long-winded answer to your question. Since it's your own account, you would set up your own profile, and everything that went out from you would be yours. So it would, yes. Does that make sense?
And somebody else on the team could have their own account, a sub-account, and send out stuff with their email block?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're doing a team format, every person on the team has to have their own account, and then whoever the head of the team is basically invites the other people to be on their team, so you can share databases and share marketing materials and see like pipeline analytics and stuff like that. But whenever you're logged in as you, no matter what person you are on the team, it's going to go out from you. Does that answer your question?
You know, just to put it all out, so if potentially, you know, we haven't decided this yet because
Yep.
I'm just coming into this, but
Yep.
we may or may not mark it as the Jacobs Group. We may or may not mark it as a team.
Right.
Well, let's say that we do. Can
Yep.
we have one CRM account with a joint picture and a signature that says the Jacobs Group and utilize it that way?
In theory, you could. I mean, if you're sharing absolutely everything, then yes. I probably wouldn't set it up that way if it were me. I would each sign up. You can create consistent branding in your emails and things like that, but I would want like your database, my database, and you can choose to share those things where you can see each other's. But I wouldn't want to have to be logging in and everything be mutual. I'd rather have like mine and yours, and then this is what we share.
That's excellent, thank you, because her sphere and my sphere are different spheres with
Correct.
a little bit of overlap.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and you can choose what you want to share back and forth. So back to the marketing stuff. Once again, you can go through here and on an individual basis, you can edit up each one of these. You just click on the little thing. But it is really nice to be able to just go and pull somebody else's, because editing is so much easier than creating. I don't know if you guys have ever figured that out, but it's a lot easier to edit than create. So it's all built for you. You go through and make it yours, and it's there without having to either as a company or an individual build it all out. So this is another thing. I don't know if you guys will use this or not, but it does. If you set up the phone number and whatnot, you can actually do text or call capture, where on your listing, say for more information, call and have a specific number. So you put the number, and you can see in here how you build out the codes. And so like SignWriter, this is what the drip campaign would go on. So it's like this walks you through all this stuff, and they even talk to you like this. The little green boxes. I know you can't see it very well, but one of the cool things that they do is they actually give you little tips on what this stuff means, or like best practices. So the green boxes are usually tips. This is what you do. The red boxes are, you don't have this, so you can't use it. So that's fine. Go ahead.
You set it up so that when they text you for more information, that it automatically sends them something, maybe like a URL?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. And that's what I plan on creating another video on, is so you can do is actually public, you can actually promote your listing through Facebook with the property website. And I'll have the picture and everything on there. And then you can say like text 1234 for more photos, information on this property, because you're just going to have the first photo, and they're going to want more information, the bedrooms, bathroom, square footage, and then then they're going to text you, right? You're going to get their phone number, and then they're all not going to get the property website for more information. You get that design aspect of it, and then you get their phone number, and you can start dripping on them and reach out and be like, hey, I heard you're interested in my property on this, and that. So that's really, I think, a really cool feature of this.
Yeah, it's a pretty slick thing that you can use, and so. So once again, you have to set that up. So a lot of these are little add-ons that cost, a couple bucks or whatever here and there. But if you kind of get comfortable with the system, and then you're like, all right, now I want to leverage it to take it to that next level, know once again that it's kind of nice, actually. One of the things that we find with CRMs a lot of times, you spend a lot of money, and you use 10% of it. So with this one, you can start with the basics, get your sphere, get your people dialed, get your campaigns going, and then you're like, all right, I'm ready to take that next step. I'm going to add in the power dialer, or I'm going to add in additional like text broadcast stuff, or I'm going to do more email. So you can do that later. Go ahead.
Do you do an advanced class later, or is it predominantly, excuse me, go see YouTube?
To be honest, I don't use it on a daily basis. If you're getting to advanced stuff, at least from what I've seen, they're really flexible with doing demos. So you could even call them and say, hey, could we set up an office demo? And my guess is they would do a full 2.0 level with their sales guys that literally do it on a daily basis. If you start getting into, really high level stuff, it's going to go above me too, because I don't work for Lionsdesk and I don't use it every day. So I have a pretty good understanding, but it's not my sole thing. So then I'm going to jump down here into the next step, and I'm going to get into communications. This is where you can go through and you can send and schedule emails. You can also see everything that's going to be going out. So we don't have anything assigned right now, but if you're wanting to go through and make sure that, I don't know, the easiest way I can describe this would be one thing that I got into each morning, and I would make sure that whatever was scheduled to go out, I still wanted to go out, just because I'm that kind of anal person. I would want to double check, so you can see that. Same thing with Texting Center. This is where you can actually see the history of things going back and forth. So this is, one of those questions you had earlier, like where can you see it? I know you can see it in here. We don't have any, but you can. You can say, okay, who are the people that have replied? So you can even see those people, and they would normally be down here. You click on the person, you can see the conversation. And then Power Dialer, we've talked about that briefly. Once again, that's taking a group, calling them all at once. But video management is another really cool thing that they have here. So you can actually take videos you've either filmed on your phone or you've filmed at other point in times, and you can upload them into here and then use these to be embedded either into emails or text messages that go out. So this is where you can record a video if you just want to do something from your computer and do a one-off, one-on-one, or you can upload a video that you already have. Now, it will tell you, like when you're saying types, it'll be text or email. One of the big things that matters in here is there are pretty small limitations, or large limitations, however you want to say it, on the size of the file that can go out. So like for text messages, I want to say it's like 500 megabytes or 500, something like that. So that doesn't seem like very much until you're using like a new phone with like 1080p or something. That's about 4 seconds. So either be really quick on your messaging or use it at a lower resolution in order to make it work. Go ahead.
Through email, are there restrictions through email?
There's restrictions on both, but it's like, and don't quote me on the exact things, but it's like 20 seconds for text and it's like a minute or a minute and a half for email. So it's quite a bit bigger for email than it is for text messages. But just know, this isn't how you send out your 5-minute video. This is how you send out a quick, and where the optimal stuff on this is it's quick personalized messages. That's where you're really going to get the most bang for your buck. And it could even be something general if you're not trying to do it totally personalized, where you're like, hey, it was great to meet you. Just a reminder, my name's Aaron. I'm with Summa. Really looking forward to sitting down with you. And below, you'll see all of the information we talked about in our last conversation. That would be the email or the video I'd send out. And then below, I would then type out all of the things we talked about based on that conversation. So that's the type of stuff you would do with this.
Yeah, you can also, when you sign people in at an open house, take all those phone numbers and then send them a nice quick video message after
What
the
does
open
it?
house.
Yeah, what does it look like on the user end when they get that email with the video? Does it show a little that still clip, the first frame of the video, so they know that
it's going to have a little thumbnail, and then you'll have to click on it. Yep. And so if I wanted to do that, and I'll just kind of show you this real quick. So say I was going into a contact, and since I'm here already, I'll just click on me. So here's where you can just click to call, click to text, click to email once you're inside of the thing. So if I'm like, okay, I want to email me right now. So once you get in here, this is where you would click on the little video button here, and you would select either I'd record one right now or upload it. No, let's just record one.
Yeah, do one real quick. I want to see what this is like.
We'll do email. Alright. Oh, you gotta record first. There we go. Yeah.
Make some more.
Give me the wave in the back.
Make some more.
Perfect. Alright. Yes! Perfect. The arms coming out of my
That's how it shows up. Usually when you send it though, your eyes are always closed like that.
Doing
Yeah.
the wave at a
You
hot
did
game.
You've trained yourself not to blink right when it goes.
Perfect. Your thumbnails are always the most flattering looks too. It's always ideal angles. You're looking really good.
And your eyes are closed.
Yeah, or at least one. You look
Yeah.
like a drunk pirate or something.
Yeah. If you send this out, you at least know everybody's watching it. Whether
Yeah.
it's an email, they might just delete, because they get spam, but they're gonna watch this. So.
That's saying if you receive a text and it's a video, anybody's gonna watch that. I mean, it's just kind of natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see here. The problem is it shows the short code on here, so I need to send it. Let's see here. I need to send to myself and like show you what it looked like on my phone. Let's see. Yeah, we can just do that, I guess. Send email. And if you notice, it just went from 1,000 to 999 emails. So.
Oh, you went.
Yeah. So I'll kind of move on. Oh, there we go.
So Tyler, you haven't really integrated this yet.
So if you notice, so this
still relatively new,
this
but
came through. This is my. I mean, I don't know if you can see it from back there, but you'll have the thumbnail of the video embedded in the email. So you can even see me waving. It gives a little like clip.
Yeah.
So it creates motion and it'll get people to click on it and see it. So.
Yeah, I do plan on putting
yeah.
out on this in the next month or so. I will say, I don't know if some of you here experienced Prospect Converter before with our old CRM. This is really, it's night and day if you haven't already noticed. This compared to what we used to have. So I think it's great.
Yeah. And you can, so like if you go through here, so this Lionsdesk content, if you click on these things, these are all your little short codes for if you're like, hello Bob, or whatever you need to do. This is how you can bring in all of the contact stuff to where every email looks personalized. But so really, I mean, from what we were talking about, kind of what we were going over, that's sort of what I wanted to show you guys. I mean, once again, the place to get started in here is to get your contacts in there. I would take the time to go through and tag them or sort them in some sort of way, so that way you know, all right, who do I want to talk to and why. And then once you do that, then you can go through and you can even create tasks for yourself inside of the, like, so if I click on myself again here, I can create tasks and say I want to, I want to text or I want to do something by next Wednesday, so that way I don't forget. Or else set your people up on drip campaigns. Go through and find your favorite drip campaigns under the marketing, and then start setting people up on the ones that you think would be pertinent. So that's the type of stuff I would get going with. And then see, and now you can see forever this video will be linked to me. But you can see all the communications that have been going on within people. But really the simple parts are get your people in there, start creating marketing timelines for them, and then you can start diving deeper on the other stuff. So.
And then the tasks tab will show all the tasks you've set for everyone.
Sorry, what's that?
Down the left-hand side, the tasks.
Oh
tab.
yeah. So you'll have.
That'll help you organize your day too. Like,
So you'll have all the ones. So this is
place to do everything.
This. Yeah, I didn't get into the task tab.
Okay.
This basically is it's a view of what's due, what's past due, what's coming up, what's completed. So you could just literally log in here, like if you're trying for efficiencies and you have all these tasks, just get in here and just check all the boxes, and you're like, cool, I'm done for the day.
That's awesome.
One other thing real quick, so it says calendar up there. I know a lot of you use Gmail. I religiously use my Google Calendar. You can sync that in here, so you can actually access your Google Calendar and also see all the CRM tasks within there
Will it
as
sync
well.
with the cloud calendar too?
I think I would have to look into it. I know it's Gmail. It's mainly based around Gmail for now.
Yeah, so a lot of what we talked about so far in the class, this class and the regular super class is creating a contact plan, for your 33 touches throughout the year. So what you would do with that is you would go into your task and plan out all your different tasks. So you create that contact plan for each person that's in your core group of people you expect to do business with throughout the year, and plan out every single task for the year for reaching out to that person. So you might, for the one task might be send out email, another task a month later might be send out a postcard, and then maybe a thinking of you card or a holiday card. So it's important to plan out all those different touches throughout the year with the task management. And like Brody was saying, you can sync that to your calendar. So when you log into this system every single single day in the morning, you can see what you have to do that day. Like, oh, I have to send Jimmy a postcard because I haven't talked to him in 2 months. So that's how you use that feature.
So that's how you say set up your 8x8, right?
Right,
You define
exactly.
your population of 8x8s, and then you set your tasks, those weekly tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually in the, I don't know, Aaron pointed out one of the greatest things is how there is 1,500 templates already in here, full campaigns.
Yeah.
They have 33 touch ones in there. They have 8x8s. Those things are already created. So.
Yeah.
Download it.
You don't need to recreate the wheel with this. It literally is built out. You just need to edit it out.
And the task will send you a notification through email or text reminding you that you have to do that too, which is cool. Every day.
So as you know, I'm not very acquainted with these systems, but when you do the templates and you put a contact in, you know, it says hi and there's a blank. Does it insert their name?
Yeah, that's for the merge field.
That's the merge field, yeah.
You can send it out to 1,000 people, and let's just say it said, "Hi, blank. How are you doing?" It would fill their name, put your email signature. You can pick what you want to be in
Okay,
there.
so is that pretty simple, or does that just kind of happen? I don't want to like send it out and then.
A lot of the predefined ones, so I just pulled this one up as the example, and you can't really see it because it's blurry. But it's when it says like hi, and right here it says first name, and it's in 2 like parentheses. That means it's the short code, so it will pull from that contact record. So
that's like the coding that it uses.
Correct. So that's a mapping thing for the system. That it's like, hey, I'm pulling from this thing.
So all you have to do is make sure when you put your contacts in, like the first names are spelled right. I'd also be careful that you don't have like, because I don't think the system, sometimes systems don't clean it up, but don't have like an extra space at the end, because then it'd be like, hi, first name space, comma, you know, things like that. So just, that's like the biggest part is like as you're putting things in or importing them, just that they're in right.
Yeah. It is. I mean, that's exactly what it is. So the data is the data. So whatever you have in there is what it's going to pull. So even things like I would take the time for like instead of if it's like you got a Jonathan, you have him down as Jonathan, he goes by John. Like I would change those things to like make it the common language and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the type of stuff that the system doesn't know better. So you're going to have to go through, and it's just going to pull directly from whatever you have in the contact record.
I emailed one of my fitness colleagues yesterday at Creatine Solutions.
Yep.
And it bounced back to me. Now that was weird. So I through another source ended up finding out it was Creative Solutions. Creatine Solutions.
You should set yourself up as a contact and then do a practice one of everything you can send out. Then you'll see how it comes out.
I kind of showed
That's
that.
what I was
Totally.
thinking.
You have to organize
Always.
first name, last name, email, phone number, and then you select. And obviously the computer cannot recognize what's the first name column and last name column always. So you have to like just It's pretty seamless, honestly. When you upload your contacts, you just have to match them up from one column, the name to the name, the phone to the phone, the email to email within the different columns. Yeah. And then, like for me, like I used to all my contact, not all my databases had all their first names and last names. I would have to go in there and make sure I do that so that when I merge it, it would show up. Like it would say, the first names within the emails.
So what are the fields that you recommend? I mean, can we put in first name, last name, phone number, email, and physical address? Mm-hmm. And anything else that should be in the CSV file that we import?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of more is better. So anything that you can get, I would put in there. But if you can't do anything more than just fill out name in one of those contact forms, then especially as you're just starting out and you're building it, that's my reason to contact people. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, I notice I have your email address, but I can't find your phone number or your home address anywhere. Like, would you mind giving it to me? And so as a new agent, you're looking for reasons to contact people and kind of tell them what you're doing, right? Like, one of the simplest calls in the world is, hey, I don't know if you know where I landed, but this is where I'm at, and I only have this for you. Like, would you mind giving me your other information? And it's such a quick, simple call, and you can go through your entire database, and that will help launch them at least, or launch your business based on them just getting knowledge of what you're doing.
Where do we go to find out what the heading of the CSV file or the
when you import it, it should map over. I'm trying to remember. I think it's just first name, last name, but you figure out what the mapping things are and connect them. But first name, last name, like address, email.
Is the category, the column, is it first name, first space name, or first name altogether?
It's just first name altogether. So first name, first space name, and the next column is last space name, phone/number, email.
And Rob, there's a video about how to do that in there.
Yeah, because otherwise it's not going to map over correctly.
Yep, exactly. It's really